Huge weekend of college football. Let's start on Friday in the Lone Star State as Texas Tech takes on Texas. The Longhorns trying to get to 7-5 on the season. Then on Saturday, it's the greatest rivalry in all of sports as Ohio State heads up north to take on the Michigan Wolverines in the Big House. Ohio State is still alive in the playoff race, but they have no margin for error right now as they look to beat Michigan for the 13th time in their last 14 tries. JT Barrett, he's the holder of 35 Ohio State or Big Ten records right now, and he looks to go 4-0 against the team up north, and he would be the first quarterback in the history of that series to do so. The Buckeyes have been flexing their muscle in the run game of late with back-to-back 300-yard games on the ground, but it has been their defense that has stole the headlines last week, holding their opponent to just 16 yards passing. The Illini not doing much in that game. Michigan is coming off a tough loss to Wisconsin. Starting quarterback Brandon Peters, he's questionable after leaving last week's game with a head injury. They will have to get their run game powered back up as they could only muster 58 yards on the ground a week ago.
Whether or not the Iron Bowl is the best rivalry in college football is a matter of perspective and maybe location too. But this much we know. There aren't many, and maybe not any, that are as heated. And here lately, there's been none that's been more relevant. Since 2009, the winner of Alabama-Auburn has gone on to play for the national championship in every year but one. No one would be surprised if that happened again this year. The winner at Auburn Saturday wins the SEC West and will play Georgia in the SEC championship game with a playoff berth at stake. Alabama is everybody's number one, but the banged-up Tide looked mortal against Mississippi State a couple weeks ago. Meanwhile, Auburn rolled Georgia that same day, and despite 2 losses, the Tigers announced themselves as a potential playoff team.
Not Auburn, Alabama. It's not even really Ohio State, Michigan when it comes to the college football playoff race, but there's a lot on the line when Notre Dame meets Stanford on Saturday night, especially for the Irish. A win against Stanford locks Notre Dame into a January bowl, guaranteed, no doubt about it, but also give the Irish wins against each of their rivalry opponents. That's something Brian Kelly spoke about all offseason up until September about being a big step and a big key for the program in 2017. At the same time, there's an outside shot they can get into the playoff. It's slim, but it does exist. They got to win on Saturday and get some help. But they can get in there. It's not over yet, but it does demand that you beat Stanford on Saturday night.